This is a pretty special one, ladies and gentlemen. This is the 25th annual, the Quicksilver in memory of Eddie Aikau. The passion, the dedication, the lifetime commitment to riding big waves. Besides having the energy and the electricity of 12 to 15 foot surf out at the point, there's a little extra chicken skin perhaps, and that's with the hokulea. We all know how important the hokulea was, and for the visitors, the hokulea represents and symbolizes so much the rebirth, the renaissance of the Hawaiian culture back in the early 1970s. And the man who this event is in honor of, Eddie Aikau, was a crewman on that hokulea. And it's just about 31 years ago, at the tender age of 31, when Eddie Aikau paddled off the hokulea in the middle of the seas in crazy ocean conditions to go help his crewmen. He lost his life in the act of helping others. After all these years, we finally have the hokulea offshore, and we're going to try to get it as close to the bay as possible, and we're hoping to have the competitors, led by Clyde Aikau, surround the hokulea.
How long have you lived in Hawaii?
4.5 years.
And how come you're out here today?
Just to check out the Eddie Aikau, the ceremonies. It's my first time for the Eddie Aikau, yeah.
What interests you the most about the contest?
Basically the story, but also the big waves.
And what makes Hawaii special that you stayed here for so long?
Quality of life. I lived in New York City for 20 years.
It's a special thing just being a regular surfer to be associated with it. I think the women's surfers in the last 15 years, they're the heart and soul of surfing. I mean, they've really come a long way. They're fun to watch in the water, and women's surfing is just as great as the men's surfing. I mean, and really the last 15 years, the women have gotten so good.
I've seen some very classic rides, some very memorable rides, stuff that I'll never forget. I've been here at the event since the start. I was just to help them out with radio coverage and stuff, and I still help them out a lot because it means a lot to me. Not only the surfers and the competition, but just the whole thing about Eddie and his family and what he means to the surf community at large. This is mine. Clark gave it to me. It means a lot. When you look at the book, you know, they say only surfers know the feeling, and it definitely gives me this feeling of being in the tube, and I know what that's like. But the good thing is, you know, you show this to a non-surfer, and they can get the feeling too. At least get a little bit of a taste of what we go through as surfers and water people.
The sport, the surfing is so important. It's what I do for my own pleasure in life, and the Aikau family represents
Next generation.
The whole soul of why we do it, the spirit of why we do it. It's the aloha, the love for the land, the family. It's everything. It's a representation and also a tribute to a fine young man who was such an ambassador of love in our sport and in the community at large.